What makes the architecture great is the experience that's created for the people who are walking through it. It's all about how you're communicating within the context of that place. I graduated from Yale and was sort of taken under the wing of Caesar Pelli, who was the dean at the time, and worked in his office. And he is a great architect, and I learned an awful lot from him.
But Peter was noticeable because he always was more of a leader, and he thought about the practice more than other students. I like that in him. That distinguished him from other students.
There are people around the world who respond to the name Hollywood more than they respond to Los Angeles. Back in the 80s and 90s, the formerly glamorous Hollywood had become a center for tattoo parlors, wig shops, places that prey on tourists, and not the kind of glamour or glory that Hollywood used to represent.
Well, this was really a great project for us. It was really the thing that put us on the map as a small firm, a small practice in Los Angeles. Disney and Pacific Theaters were going to duplex that building. If you walked in here in 1987, you would have seen the entire front of the theater and everything on the inside covered with aluminum siding. The first day they got out here, they started ripping out the aluminum siding, and lo and behold, up above in the ceilings and the walls was all this incredible original material. The executives came out and they looked around and they said, "This is incredible. This would be terrible to destroy this. But you all need to go back and totally put together a new set of construction documents, go down and get a new permit, and with Turner Construction somehow you have to figure out how to get a restored El Capitan Theater open in time for that premiere." It was basically new interior construction within an old shell. Now we're bringing in historic preservation experts. We're working with all sorts of specialists on how to recreate plaster casts to fill in the broken parts of the elaborate ceiling or the walls. Working from photographs, the opera boxes that you can see, I think one behind me, some of those were sheared off to put the aluminum siding on, so from photographs we had to figure out how to recreate them as they originally were.
It seemed risky at the time, but Peter really delivered. He demonstrated that it was possible to design a quality product that was faithful to the original concept of the El Capitan Theater, and at the same time do it in a way that made business sense.
He's actually quite a big risk taker. He's excellent at business development, just unbelievable in terms of the types of pursuits that he's been able to bring into the office and go after when we had no reason to go or stand a chance to go for these things, and he would figure out a strategy.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder.
We were literally crucified by the defense lawyers with how the evidence was handled and analyzed. And we couldn't get by that. We knew that a crime lab bringing the Sheriff's Department in with LAPD was very important. It had to be state of the art. But it was a very complex undertaking.
It came down to a two-firm competition with us facing off against A.C. Martin. And it was extremely unusual that we came in with our drawing boards and pencils, and we each had 8 hours to draw furiously, and then at the end of the day, each present our ideas.
If he designed a building that later turned out to be, hey man, you did not protect the sanctity of the evidence that had to be analyzed, that would be doomsday for him, professionally and personally, and I knew he felt that. I'm sure he knew nothing about crime labs. He talked to people, He read things, he learned things, and then using his creativity and intelligence and what he learned, created this incredible building.
The Department of Justice, is part of their outreach to help bring the rule of law around the world. They will contribute expertise, and they will actually pay our firm to go in and help lay out crime labs for developing nations. That's a very rewarding thing at the end of the day. It goes back to advancing your world, and you feel like you're making the world a better place at the end of the day.
On easterly property line?
A practice of architecture is very complex. One can reduce it to very simple words, but it's very complex because we need to please a client. We need to work within the regulations of the city, laws.
You have to see somebody else's vision. You have to be able to execute on it. And then you have to get a whole team of people to all go in the same direction.
Peter's always telling us and continues to tell us, that listen to your clients, listen to what their needs are, and then provide a contextual response really to what that project is. And so that really creates unique design opportunities for each project that we have.
Through it, this thing's fun.
So the bigger picture is very important for Peter, which is really steering a firm that makes a positive impact on clients, on the culture, on the city, the society at large. And his ability to bring in point of views into a design discussion, which usually entails a client point of view.
Complicated, a lot of moving pieces here. And you also have to satisfy a lot of clients. Your clients are students, your clients are parents, your clients are the faculty, your clients is administration, and the community.
President Nikias looked at it from a different perspective. He looked at it as, how can we expand our university? And that meant developing the land so that it looked to be a part of the university. It shifted from a destination retail place with some student housing to some student housing in the context of the university with some retail associated with it. Very earliest meetings with Max Nikias and his board, making a presentation in his cabinet. One of the things that I said to him as we sort of wrapped up the day was, well, you ought to have a Harry Potter dining hall. And of course he said to me, what are you talking about? And I said, well, think about it for a minute. All of the young people who are applying to the university now, they've all read all 7 of J.K. Rowling's novels, and they have this association of belonging to a residential college and this sort of central life of what happening in this residential dining hall. And I said, when you go to Yale or Harvard and they take you on a tour, the last place they take you to seal the deal at the end of the sort of pitch to entice you to apply is they take you to the dining hall. And so he said, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Let's do that. While I might contribute some ideas, none of this would have happened if there wasn't a huge team of really talented people. I started out as the designer, when we had a small firm of 10 people that I started with. I was drawing everything myself and doing that. But now with 400 people in the firm, really what I'm proud of is creating the environment, the creative environment where people can collaborate together, ideas are welcomed, and as we say, it's the best idea wins.
When we build a building, we are also building a little piece of a city, and that's a great responsibility.
Peter is one of those people who literally builds our city. Over the span of his career, his work has left an indelible mark on the landscape of Los Angeles. He's always thinking about the big picture, about how our city will look and function in 20, 30, 50 years.
Architecture is always done in service to something. If I'm designing a school, I'm designing a school because I want to make the world a better place because the kids are going to get a better education there. If I'm designing a hospital, I'm trying to make the world a better place because maybe the patients will heal faster, the infection rates will be lower. If it's a shopping center, you want the sales to be good and the people to enjoy themselves. So the blend, so there's a science to that because some of those things are measurable, and there's an art to it because what makes great architecture is somehow something touches you inside your soul and says, that's beautiful. I like this place. I want to come back here again.